Hey, good morning, everyone. Today is Freedom Friday. Yeah, I'm just being silly. No, but honestly, I just wanted to come real quick and talk to you about something that I was dealing with, and it's funny to me, and I'm really grateful how God speaks to me. Particularly, and a lot of times it's through certain things that I'm doing in the moment. Um, I may be doing something specific, and in the midst of doing it, something will just drop on me, and I'm like, in relation to what I'm doing, but it has a biblical context for myself. And I'm just like, wow, God, He does that a lot. He does use people. He speaks to me through His Word, but I love it when it happens that way. So God was dealing with me with getting to the root of things. I talked about that before, but He was also talking to me about why it's so important to handle those things quickly, those things that He shows us, those things He reveals to us, to not run for those things or hide from those things, but once He shows it, attack it, in whatever way He tells you, or however way that you see it in the Word, or how someone else helps you, whatever it is, however it gets resolved. When you know what it is, work it, work it, work it until that you get free from that thing, right? So the way He personally showed me, and I'm sure I'm saying it's like common sense, but if we all would be honest with ourselves, we know there's things that we've seen about ourselves or whatever, we just brush it to the side like, well, that's just me, or it's okay, or it's not a big deal. But I want us to really try to be obedient to the Holy Spirit when He reveals things, because anything that God is doing in our lives, anything that He's showing us, anything that He is saying to us, it is for our good. We know that the Word says all things work together for the good of those who love Him, right? But a lot of times we don't really apply that when we're going through something, or when we know that we have things in our lives that have hurt us or whatever. Sometimes we apply that to other people, but not necessarily ourselves, right? So that's basically what I'm saying. But my son, he's 14 now, but this was last year, I believe. He flooded my whole basement. Now, Jeremiah is on the spectrum, and when he gets upset, he does things that maybe my typical children wouldn't do. So this particular day, he went downstairs, he turned the water on in the bathroom, and I don't know how long that water was running, y'all, but when I went down to my basement, when I stepped in, I sunk into my carpet. That's how wet the floor was. So I had a machine so I could start sucking up the water. I had a little one, right? I had a little Bissell. I don't know what it's called, Bissell or whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter. A home carpet cleaner to suck the water. So you guys can imagine how long it took to suck that water up. It didn't just take one day. Had fans, had to pull stuff up, had to put stuff down to soak up water, wash those, get them, do that again, still sucking up water. It took, I don't know. It was not a one-day process, I'll just say that. And my landlord was not very helpful. It was just a whole lot. And I remember doing it as I was cleaning. I was getting so angry. I was getting so frustrated. In the midst of me trying to clean up that mess, I was making other messes by, yelling at my kids and hurting their feelings and hurting myself, hitting myself. It was just a whole bunch of other stuff going on, right? I was just too mad to hear the Holy Spirit that time. But about 3 months after the first incident, He did it again. But this time, I don't know what happened, but I heard something, but I was in my room, he was in the basement. I heard something, I didn't know what it was, but it sounded like water. Now, technically, I know for real, that I would not hear water dripping in the sink from upstairs. So I just feel like it was the Holy Spirit like alerting me there's something going on. So I went downstairs, and yes, He did it again. The water was on, but it was a small area this time. And so, of course, I tell him, go to your room. We don't do this. This is the wrong thing to do, blah, blah, blah. Doing my mama stuff. But I was cleaning it. So I had the same little vacuum thing. And I was like, whew, I'm glad it's this little square. And then as soon as I said that to myself, I heard the Holy Spirit say, this is why I need you to be responsive and do what I tell you to do when I tell you. Because when you do that, your healing or your cleanup is so much faster, it's easier, it's something you can handle a little better. And so when I compared that moment to the first time, I was thinking about not only how long it took to clean up the mess, but how I felt during it and the other problems that I caused in the midst of me trying to clean up that mess, right? So I don't know if this sounds crazy to you guys, but it made a lot of sense to me in the moment. And I was just like, wow, God, thank you for showing me this, which has actually accelerated my healing in other areas. Because when I accepted that fact, and I was just like, I, humbled myself. And I was like, God, just forgive me for the times that I know that I've been shown things that I needed to deal with in my life, but I pushed it to the back. That was my first step. I just repented. Just cause, okay, God, I see what you're saying to me. I see that I've been doing these things. And once I acknowledged it, I felt like there was an increase of God showing me stuff in my life of what I needed to work on. But it wasn't a painful thing. It wasn't, I was running from it, because he had first given me that revelation. And it wasn't like he was just overwhelming me with stuff. Our God is a good God, and he's not going to do things to hurt us, right? He allows hurt to happen for things in our life, but he's not going to it's similar to what I said before in a video, like you're not going to give meat to a baby, right? So I'm not going to rip off these band-aids off of you if I know you're going to bleed out, right? So that's how I look at it. So it really takes for us to come to a place of acceptance of things that have happened, or things that we've done, or situations that have occurred, acceptance of it, surrendering that thing to God and allowing him to work on us and reveal to us what parts we may have played, or even if we didn't play any part, to comfort us and to love us and allow us to unburden ourselves to him, and he can give us a freedom about that situation. There's just so many different ways. But I just encourage you, I really encourage you to open your ears to surrender parts of your life, or things that you know already that you have not dealt with, right? Because he's not going to deal with or show you the things that are maybe hidden if you haven't even dealt with what you already know, those things that you're participating in and all that. I'm not going to speak for God, because maybe he does do that to other people. I'm just going to say how he did with me. He did not show me the roots of things that I was manifesting in the present until I dealt with the things that I already knew about myself. That's just how he did with me. It's freedom in that, y'all. It's freedom. It's not always feel good in the moment, but once you get past it, it's such a freedom, because not only does that thing maybe not affect you the same way, but the knowing that God is really here with you. Like we say that all the time, but a lot of us don't really necessarily feel his presence. If we don't feel his presence, we don't really necessarily believe he's there, and but in those moments, it's just a reminder. Yes, God, you are here. You're with me. Thank you. Gives you strength, power, So I told that story just to say, to just a visual picture of, would you rather be surrounded by a flood, a storm, or would you just rather walk through that stream? I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but man, that was such a illuminating moment for me, in the moment of, when I was cleaning up that second time. And I just want us all to be purposeful in our healing, because there's something that God has for each and every one of us to do, right? But some of those things, can't get to it if you can't get past those things that the enemy has placed in your life to try to deter you from God's purpose in your life, right? So, I have a lot of stories like that, but that one particular, that was just my aha moment. And like I said, he had been dealing with me before that, but after that moment, it was an acceleration of revelation and healing, and I'm very grateful. I feel so much lighter. I'm hearing him better, and my eyes are clear. I'm seeing things much better. So I'm looking forward to what's ahead in my life. I pray that you're looking forward to what's ahead in yours. And my prayer today for you is that you surrender to the Holy Spirit, allow him to reveal whatever it is that he needs to reveal in your life, that you tackle that thing head on, and that on the other side of it, you will walk in freedom and fullness, and right into your purpose. So I hope you guys have a great day. Love you. Bye.